We're going to get into this, why today I think was a win for the free speech side and a massive loss for the left. Karen Toller, you rock, keep it up in the super chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So what I have here is I have a BuzzFeed article which gives the basic analysis of what's going on here. And this is the media narrative, and we're going to compare that to, first of all, the Facebook page of the rally, and then footage from the rally. And this was the person that I was talking to on Twitter. I was encouraging them because they were saying they liked the fact that the quite white supremacists, or the quote white supremacists, were outnumbered by the quote anti-fascist protesters. And I said, before you make a statement like that, you might want to look to see who actually spoke at this free speech rally, because you would, at least particularly if you're a progressive on the left, you probably would not want to call a group of people made up of marginalized groups, as well as white people, who are arguing in favor for marginalized groups. You probably wouldn't want to call them white supremacists, would you? Because that might make you look a little bit racist. You know what we need? Remember the church lady? Do you know the church lady? Remember when she would say Satan and it would be like a huge echo? We should have that with racist. If we ever get a budget and we can do shit like that, we're going to have an echo like that. I know people on the left don't like to be called a racist, so I would encourage you, before you give your analysis of the Boston free speech rally, look at the footage. So we're going to do that. But before we do that, we're going to give, this is the media's take on what happened. So the media, this is what the media has been saying. 40,000 people turn out in Boston to protest a right-wing event. Only a few dozen supporters of the right-wing free speech rally turned up. And by the way, it seems as though the city deliberately made it so that if you wanted to go to the free speech rally, you had to actually walk through a gauntlet of rabid, quote, anti-fascists who were throwing shit at you and screaming all sorts of bullshit at you. So that's actually not good. And that was done on purpose. So that's probably one of the reasons that the attendance was low. But regardless of what the attendance numbers are, as long as both sides had the ability to speak, it's fine. But anyway, we're going to get into, this is what the media's narrative, and we're going to compare it with what exactly happened. A right-wing event in Boston that billed itself a free speech rally attracted only a few dozen supporters on Saturday, while an estimated 40,000 counter-protesters turned up to demonstrate against racism. This is, when I say this is a win, this is a massive win. And I ask you if you agree with me at the end of this. Once these videos are made, I'm going to put them all on the Hard Bastard channel. If there are any videos, if you are those that promote our shit and put it on Twitter and retweet it, these videos that we make about this rally are the ones I want to get out the most, because this is a total black eye for the media, a total black eye for the quote counter protesters. They picked the wrong demonstration to do this against. They thought they were getting another Charlottesville. They thought there was going to be a Klan rally, and it wasn't. And calling everything to the right of Marx a Nazi is generally not a good tactic. But anyway, continuing. Aerial footage showed huge masses of counter demonstrators marching in the street from Roxbury to Boston Common. The protest was held 1 week after a violent white supremacy rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, in which an anti-racist demonstrator was killed. In Boston on Saturday, counter-protesters chanted, "Go home," to the right-wing demonstrators. So remember all of these chants, and they're being directed to the demonstrators, and it's very important. This is all very important. They also made signs linking Trump, the 45th president of the United States, to Nazis. Others donned costumes and carried signs against white supremacy. Again, this is all right, whatever floats your boat. Counter-protesters also burned a Confederate flag. Media was not allowed into the area of Boston Common, which is interesting. Was it the T. Ryan, what was the highest super chat last night? I think it was $20. I'm not 100% sure. I need to have either your email or And if you don't put it on the chat, obviously, but or if you could email me at hardnewsnetwork@gmail. I just want to send you the screenshots. I always like to keep everything transparent. So I'll send you the screenshots for the super chats from yesterday. Ministry of Wrong thinks so. They've set up a dichotomy where being pro-free speech makes you right-wing. Good luck, 2018 DNC idiots. Oh, this is. I cannot explain how good of a day this was. I think if we can get the truth out there. The media is not going to tell it, but you could really change a lot of people's minds with this shit. I really think you can. The way this is being portrayed, and then when you actually look at it, it is incredible. Anyway, so continuing, media was not allowed. Now, I wonder if the media was not allowed because the rally wouldn't allow it, or the city, because the mayor of the city is a lunatic, apparently, because he called the people at this rally Nazis. And so perhaps was it that he didn't want the truth to get out there? Bullshit Man says I can't find the stream on Gab. Yeah, it's weird. I tried it twice. I definitely have everything correct on my end, so I don't really understand. I guess during the break I'll try to fix it, but for some reason it's just not coming up right now on Gab. So why wasn't the media allowed? Was it because they didn't want people to learn the truth about this rally? So they weren't allowed to turn. About 30 people turned up to the free speech protest. The rally started at 12 and ended early after the huge counter-protest turnout. However, the day gradually became more violent as the day wore on. There were some fights between protesters and counter-protesters, some of who were dressed in all black and wore face coverings. That's Antifa. Witnesses told BuzzFeed News that this incident began after the younger white man called a black man the N-word. And in another incident that got replayed on Fox News, a woman had an American flag. Fox News points it out, but this was an old lady holding an American flag that got assaulted by Antifa. A woman had an American flag torn out of her arms, and she was knocked to the ground by a protester. She was also dragged, BuzzFeed. She was also dragged. And again, just showing you the true side of Antifa. They have no problem beating up. They literally are assaulting old ladies for holding American flags. That's Antifa. Aerial footage also showed some clashes with police and counter-protesters as police tried to disperse the crowd. So if you are a person who is doing this and you support Antifa, I would like you to explain why it's okay to drag an old lady with an American flag. You have to answer for this shit if you're going to support Antifa. Do the ends justify the means? Did the old lady deserve it for some reason? Please explain all of that. Police said rocks were being thrown at officers. BDP is asking, BPD, not BDP, that's Boogie Down Productions. BPD, Boston Police Department, is asking individuals to refrain from throwing urine, bottles, and other harmful projectiles at our officers, the Boston Police Department tweeted. So Antifa was also throwing rocks and urine at police officers. Righteous anti-Nazi activism, right, left, right media. That's what this is? Wow. Boston Police Commissioner William Evans described the crowd as broken into three groups: those attending the free speech rally, those protesting against that rally, and unfortunately we did have people who came here to cause problems. Yeah, which side were they on? By 6:30 p.m., police said a total of 33 people had been arrested. But the police commissioner applauded the crowd overall, saying there had been no property damage or injuries. Oh, Zimu. Absolutely classic line. Very few people I would have even thought brought this up. HB, I can't even do the imitation, but very few people will get this, but I must take the time to point this out because Boogie Down Productions and KRS-One were the all-time legends in hip-hop. I'm a huge hip-hop head, and there is even though, well, I don't know. I think you could argue that, well, I don't want to get into a whole thing about it, but there's a track from the Live Hardcore Worldwide album that Zimu is quoting here, and I give him ultimate respect for that. Thank you very much, sir. That's fucking fantastic. I love that track. That is the shit. That is the greatest live rap album of all time. Anyway, this is not a hip hop stream, so we're going to get back to it, but shout out for that. I like that. Anyway, so the Boston Police Commissioner said we probably had 40,000 people out here standing tall against hatred and bigotry in the city, and that's a good feeling, he said. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh also praised the crowd. Now we must hold everyone accountable for their words against the people at the free speech rally. We are holding everyone accountable. So this motherfucker is going to be held accountable for what he said about these people, because then we're going to look to see who he was talking about. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh also praised the crowd, thanking counter-protesters for coming out to fight back on racism, to fight back on anti-Semitism, and to fight back on white supremacists and Nazis that were coming to our city. This is very important. Trump, who was criticized for his slow and mixed reaction to the events in Charlottesville, also tweeted his thanks to the protesters who are speaking out against bigotry and hate. I don't know if he looked at the footage either, but I will apply the same standard to the president. I think the president should also look at who was at this rally. But he also rightly pointed out that the agitators were throwing things at the police. And I think here's one of the weaknesses of the fact that there is no way that, from what we understand, the president watches the media. He watches CNN, he watches Fox News. Here's a prime example of why there needs to be a channel that actually tells the truth. Or you could argue that the president should put the YouTube app on his phone and watch people who tell the truth. One or the other. But he was wrong here when he says he is applauding. I mean, if you came there just to speak out about general bigotry and hate, I support that. But that's not what it was. It was a counter-protest to the free speech rally, meaning that you are against the people at the free speech rally. So let's continue. After the rally in Boston, many counter-protesters left their signs behind, included "Reject Hate, Black Lives Matter, and Boston Doesn't Want You Here." Basically, they left all of their trash for the city to clean up. Now, here's the important part. People are talking about old school rap. I can't resist it. Oh, Sabella Shepard, poor Aiden for sports now rap. Oh, yeah. Well, no. To be honest with you, one time Aiden Paladin was going through her phone or whatever. It might have been an MP3 player, actually. And while, yeah, 50% of it, I was like, whatever, you know. I'm not a bigot when it comes to music. I just only basically listen to hip hop. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with other forms of music. There are rare exceptions, like Led Zeppelin is a rare exception. Led Zeppelin is amazing. But I mainly listen to hip hop. However, she did have some very good underground hip hop in her phone that I was very surprised about. So I will give her credit for that. But anyway, let's continue here. So this is what's very important. This is the Facebook page. So let's read what they said. This is the group that put on the rally, and then we're going to go to footage from the actual rally itself. The free speech movement is dedicated to peaceful rallies, are in no way affiliated, in no way affiliated with the Charlottesville rally of 8/12/17. While we maintain that every individual is entitled to their freedom of speech and defend that basic human right, we will not be offering our platform to racism or bigotry. We denounce the politics of supremacy and violence. We denounce the actions, activities, and tactics of so-called Antifa movement. We denounce the normalization of political violence. Understand that I think that the media and the powers that be are seeing this as an opportunity to change the First Amendment. So it doesn't matter if Jesus Christ was at this rally performing miracles and passing out wine to everybody. It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been labeled Nazi because it's a free speech rally. And what would be one of the biggest game changers in this information war would be to change free speech. And they're already kind of doing it. And now this is something. Charlottesville put blood in the water for the sharks, and now they're all coming out. But anyway, continuing, we are witnessing an unprecedented move towards sweeping censorship that undermines our democratic system. That is a completely accurate statement. I completely agree with that statement. We are witnessing increasingly regular incidents of political violence being used to silence political opponents. Again, fully agree. We're witnessing our social media and online communities purging both progressive and conservative content from their networks. We oppose all instances of censorship. We believe that the way to defeat and disarm toxic ideas and ideologies is through dialogue and reason, and that attempting to silence any voice by force of mob or force of law only empowers the radical elements of society and divides us. This is very well written and accurate. There is a lot of misinformation in the media slandering our name by likening our organization to those that ran the Charlottesville rally. In all caps, this could not be further from the truth, I can tell you. The march we had in May, that group pulled a permit. They worked very well with us, as stated by Boston Police Commissioner William Evans in a press conference Monday, 8/14 of 2017. We are a coalition of libertarians, progressives, conservatives, and independents, and we welcome all individuals and organizations from any political affiliation that are willing to peaceably engage in open dialogue about the threats to and the importance of free speech and civil liberties. Join us at the Parkman Bandstand, where we will be holding our event. We look forward to the tide-changing peaceful event that has the potential to be a shining example of how we in the city of Boston can come together for the common goal of preserving freedom of speech for all and respectfully discussing our differences of opinion without engaging in violence. Now, we're going to go to the footage, and I want to make sure we hold everyone accountable for speaking out against these people. This is the rally. Notice, first of all, a person of color is speaking. Secondly, what do these signs say? Black lives do matter, held by a black person. There's white people here. There is a mixture. I have other footage. Here you had people who were from all different political backgrounds, from all different races, arguing in some cases for jobs, for marginalized groups. These are the people that were being called Nazis. So therefore, it is an accurate assessment to say that the counter-protesters were fighting not only against free speech, but against the marginalized. These people were marching against marginalized groups. I think that's an accurate statement. I don't think that's an exaggeration. You labeled everyone in this, what would you call it, gazebo, a Nazi, a person whose speech should be shut down, told to go home. You told black people to go home today, idiots. Do you understand that? You told black people to go home today. This is like when Anna Kasparian told black people to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. These people are so deranged. And the media has whipped up such a frenzy, such a moral panic about Nazis, that now they have successfully gotten tens of thousands of people to bully, harass, scream at people who support marginalized groups, people who are not far right, people who, while maybe not fully left, are progressive, are centrists. And the fucking mayor of Boston called these people Nazis and white supremacists. So let's listen to what one of the speakers has to say.
He's fake news.
Am I still on? Where am I here?
And doesn't believe it's free speech because they want to narrow the discussion to a very limited way. Now, I will never support someone who calls black children super predators. Will we?
He said, I will never support anyone that calls black people super predators. Would we? And the audience says no. Now, of course, they're referencing Hillary Clinton, ironically enough.
No. Will we support anyone who calls black people super predators?
Never Hillary.
Who says they need to be brought to heel? Well, that's what Hillary Clinton did. So black lives do matter, and we need to lock her up and the establishment who are super predators of everyday people. They divide and rule us. We're here today as patriots of America. We're not confused by the reality. And let me remind everyone here in Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren supported super predator Hillary Clinton?
Oh, yes, she did.
She did, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's remember that. Let's remember who the real racists are, and this is coming from a person of color.
So, man, first of all, I give zero shits about these differentials, but someone is saying guy is Indian, not, quote, Negro. That's his, I'm quoting him. I give zero fucks. Regardless, the left refers to any brown person as a person of color. So they told a person of color, and there's other speakers that are also black, they told these people to go home. They said shame. They called them Nazis. They basically chose the wrong rally. The media and Antifa whipped up 40,000 people to go and counter-protest this rally, claiming that it was Nazi, when in fact it was not. Lawrence Fogel, Super Chat, black people and white people who were never slaves are fighting white people who were never Nazis over Confederate statues that were erected by Democrats, but somehow this is all Donald Trump's fault. It's so ridiculous. Oh, wait till you see, oh my God, I don't know, this might be when we're going to go for a while today. This might be after the, when I have Winston on to talk about his experience at this rally and also going over the footage that he has. You should see, if you haven't already seen it, the video of Don Lemon where he has Ben Shapiro on CNN and they're talking about statues and monuments. I mean, if you wanted to get a true insight into the character of not only Don Lemon, but the liberal elites, it was something to behold, and we're definitely going to go over that.
What I've shared with you is something that you will not hear in mainstream media. Will you? Has anyone heard any of this? Has anyone ever denounced Hillary Clinton in mainstream media? But it is the truth, is it not? And free speech, which is what we're here about, is a bedrock of America. This is why my parents left India. A low-caste guy like myself would never be able to speak out like this.
I don't know much about this guy. Now, look, I trust no politicians, and he's a politician, so I don't trust him. However, any person that gets up and speaks for free speech, I'm completely on board with. And I cannot believe, I mean, you have like Jesus Christ over here. You have hippie Jesus. You're telling me, you're telling me this guy's on the right? What egg on the face does the media have? This is, I was not expecting, I just wasn't expecting this. That the optics here are horrible for the left. The problem is, how do you get this out into the mainstream? I don't think they're going to tolerate it.
And anyone can say whatever they want, and we don't have to listen to them, right? I remember at Harvard Square, people used to put up a soapbox and talk. No one attacked them. No one brutalized them. No one threw acid at them. You walked away. That's America, is it not?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can hear, I believe, I don't want to like assign agreement, but I do think Joe Biggs is there. And I do think you can hear Joe Biggs there. And Joe Biggs is one of the people. Now, he's a conservative, and Joe Biggs was painted as one of these people who was a Nazi. Would a Nazi and a white supremacist, first of all, be okay with people holding Black Lives Do Matter signs? And would he also be okay with this? Now, he may not agree with some of the sentiments in regards to healthcare positions of progressives, but I've seen no evidence that Joe Biggs is in any way a white supremacist or a Nazi. So not only, and he was probably maybe he was the most conservative guy there, but this was a combination of people. So we have reached a point in this country where we have 40,000 people demonstrating against people who are slightly to the right of Marx, or moderate conservatives, or who are just to the right, but not to the extreme right. So we're officially getting the narrative of, I mean, we kind of would exaggerate and say everything to the right of Marx is Nazi. Well, we're actually getting here. This is where we are now. We actually are everybody to the right of Marx is a Nazi. Ministry of Wrongthink says, the right, this doesn't look good for us. Antifa, hold my fucking beer. Yeah, I mean, I don't, I mean, obviously when you have a situation with a death, that's always going to be way worse. But the optics here are not good. The problem is the media is going to spin this any way that they can. The media, for example, held everyone on the right responsible for the death of the girl in Charlottesville. And now they're going to claim that everyone at this rally was a Nazi or somehow part of the group that did that. It's as if they're purposely setting it up that anyone that disagrees with the media narrative is a Nazi. This is all on purpose. Absolutely all on purpose, even down to how people even had to walk through to even get to this thing.
But there are those who manipulate also free speech for slander and libel, and that's what big media does. They talk about free speech, but they can character assassinate you, call you a Nazi, a racist. But let me remind you that the Supreme Court has also ruled that we have a libel and slander law. You can sue them. And some of us will sue them because the Supreme Court has ruled that slander, and false statements are not allowed under the First Amendment. Is that not right? So we have protection. I've sued Gawker Media, some of you know. Hulk Hogan sued them, and we took them down. That's the right thing to do because Gawker Media was practicing clickbaiting. They made millions of dollars victimizing hundreds of people overnight.
I am supportive of this if you can prove libel with any instance in the media. Now, someone asked, where can we get this page? I guess you're referring to their Facebook page. I just looked up Boston Free Speech Rally and it came up here. When this goes on the Hard Bastard channel, I'll put the link in the description.
And a few of us had the money to fight them. But that's what they talk about free speech. Now, labeling you Nazis or white supremacists is slander and libel. And we have the right in this country to sue them, and we will.
I hope so. That would be amazing. I would love that. Like I said, I don't know this dude. I don't know if he's talking shit. If he's for real about this, this is what we need. Absolutely.
And we will we not? Because part of free speech is truthful speech. Let me just finish up with a couple points. You know, we're all here because we stand, as I understand, pretty much everyone I've talked to stands for free speech, not fake news. And there are people on the stage, I may not agree with your views, but that's all right. We have a full spectrum of people here. We have people from the Green Party here. We have people, Bernie supporters here. We got people who believe in civic nationalism. I'm an Indian. I don't believe in the caste system. We got people of all different backgrounds here. They don't. They got people saying the same thing. And the organized event, organizers, I want to just walk out. Look, I've been a teacher at MIT.
Dude, that footage is amazing of those crowds. That's crazy. Look at how they're just surrounded by a mob of rabid people that you could argue some of them at least want to kill them. And here you have a situation, you got a Jewish guy, an Indian guy, black guy, you got hippie Jesus, you got people from all different types of political backgrounds. And I think that's, like, this is, the media is not going to come off this narrative. They're not going to say, oops, we made a mistake. In fact, Joy Reid herself read, even the ADL said this wasn't a white supremacist march. And Joy Reid just mocked the comment on her show. I have that video for later. She just mocked it and said, ha 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 ha, they're all Nazis anyway, basically. 6U66A Kush, I think that has to do with weed. Shout out to weed. How do I join the Master Debaters? Email us at hardnewsnetwork@gmail.com and let us know which subject you would like to take on.
I got 4 degrees from the place. I just want to let you know that I have seen some of the most impressive young people here. And let's give them all a hand of applause. All of them. Woo! We have seen some of the most impressive young activists here who are really patriots. They want to get involved.
And I think we have Hi Mary, who's with Hippie Jesus. So you got Hippie Jesus and Hi Mary. She's definitely high.
Involved in the political system, not in the political system where it's narrow-minded and where the academics tell them what to do. Look, in 1982, I fought the KKK. Okay, right here as an activist. I fought racism at MIT when MIT had invented.
I mean, Hi Mary is happy. I don't think she's necessarily happy about what he's saying. I think she's just generally very happy for some reason.
Investments in South African apartheid. There's a picture of me burning the South African flags on the steps of MIT. Does that sound like a white supremacist?
Nope. No.
Does that?
No.
Exactly. I fought for women's rights at MIT, and I've opposed various wars. How many veterans are here?
Yep.
Yeah, these are proud veterans here. These veterans were sent to fight wars
There's
in
Joe
the bushes
Biggs.
in Iraq. I was the
I
first
knew he
student
was
at
there.
MIT in front of 10,000 people. I said U.S. out of Iraq. I don't think any of those guys did, because if Answer is out there, which they are, they have supported the Democrat wars. And they have admonished Republican wars. They choose which wars to denounce.
I just can't believe the media has so successfully put this in motion. We have a situation where you have 40,000 people who are brainwashed by the media. The media labeled a group Nazis, and now they, with the help of Antifa, and now they are just happy to intimidate them, yell at them, scream at them. Wait till you see the shit. I mean, you've already seen footage, but wait till you see the shit that Winston has. It's just incredible what they did to people.
What we have today, everyone, I think we all know that, is we don't have free speech. We have people who want to control speech. They want controlled speech.
That's absolutely correct. Very unusual to hear this from a politician.
And it always starts, where's MIT and Harvard and those institutions? Which way are they? That direction? Well, it starts from over there. You see the fake news. Behind fake news is the academics. And by the way, you know, they get hooded. They get hoods when you get your PhD. They're the real criminals in all of this. It's easy to attack the guys in the white pillowcases or their swastikas. That's easy. But let me tell you who the real criminals are who practice controlled speech. It's the academics. And I know these people well. I've been in and out of these institutions for 33 years. They manipulate real science. If you say anything against Monsanto, you will not get tenure at any of these institutions. Is that free speech? No. Is that free speech, everyone?
The guy's name is Shiva Ayyadurai. This is his YouTube page. Only has 2,000 or so subscribers, but yeah, I started following him on Twitter. He has my attention. I'll say that. He absolutely has my attention. And like someone's bringing out how like this is so damning to the media. The way they painted this. We have to just do all that we can to get this out and just point out how, I mean, I don't think there's ever been such a contrast. Well, actually, the contrast between Trump's words about Charlottesville and the media coverage, that was probably one of the most drastic contrasts you could come up with. This is another one, though. Looking at how the media is portraying this rally, and then when you actually see the footage, what reasonable person would call these people white supremacists or Nazis or racists? Are you fucking kidding me? This is crazy.
You won't get tenure if you attack Monsanto. If you say anything against GMOs, you won't get you'll be admonished if you say anything against Hillary Clinton. You'll be admonished if you're a Trump supporter. I don't think this sounds like free speech, does it? No. It doesn't. And I know what it means in closing and all of the, you know, what segregation really means. I was denied water as an Indian kid because I was a lower caste, untouchable, deplorable. As a 5-year-old kid, does that sound right? No. Sounds like segregation, right? And when I fought the military-industrial complex, when the facts came out that a dark-skinned Indian kid in Newark invented email, it's a liberal media who went ape.
Prodigal Champ said, I will have to check him. Yeah, check him. And then also, if you made a video, because you'd mentioned yesterday about Charlottesville, if you made a video, or let me know, because you put that super chat in. I don't think you were here when I talked about it, but I wanted to know what you meant by, you said Charlottesville was set up. I mean, generally, that's pretty much what we went over. I don't know if you saw the Zach Holler article, but if you have like other shit that you wanted to mention, I'm interested in that.
Because the reality is they want to assume that all great innovations come from them, that it can't come from anyone here. And in closing, I want to let you know all my life, I believe again, I do not believe in I love this country. I believe that truth, freedom, and justice are what we all want. The establishment thrives on privilege, power, and control, right? That's what they thrive on. Our weapon is uniting against them and dropping truth. Uniting will destroy their control. I want everyone to say 3 times with me, an important word. That is why we're here. Love. Love. Love.
I believe Hi Mary just lit a joint. See, I like this group of people. This is my idea of utopia, and I'm serious. This is what I like. You have people of all different backgrounds getting together and just at its core supporting each other's right to an opinion. I have very easy standards to get along with people. We agree that we all have the right to our opinion and we have the right to our space to live peacefully among each other. We don't fuck with each other's shit and we don't arm each other. This is a great fucking, like, isn't it crazy that this is what everyone is yelling against? I don't think it's a coincidence because these are people that are generally getting together. And I just, this is not, while this is a great optic for us because it proves how bad the media is lying, it's also a little bit scary that this is where we are in the country, that reasonable people that want to get along with each other are the ones being painted Nazis. Because basically the deep state wants to take over and they are happy to use whatever racial divisions that there are in our country. They're using the racial divisions, and they're also using liberals' willingness and deep desire to virtue signal about not being a racist. Because really, most of the crowd that came out to this, they were obviously brainwashed zombies because they believe the media narrative. And what I mean is people that came out to protest this group of people, but also people, they're very self-serving. They're thinking, oh, look, I'm righteous. I'm fighting against Nazis. And look what the media just brought you. Look what the media got you. They got you to march against these people and call these people Nazis. This march, or excuse me, this organization here, this free speech rally here is one of the best examples that I have seen in quite a while of people of all different political backgrounds standing united for one key thing, which is free speech. And people should be ashamed of themselves for calling these people Nazis. T. Ryan, super chat. Hi, Mary is my new favorite person. She's fucking hilarious. I don't know if she's holding the Bible. I really have I want to know more about Hi Mary and Hippie Jesus. Also, by the way, congrats on 30,000 subs. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully I don't get hit by this glitch that is apparently hitting some YouTubers where V lost 13,000 subs overnight. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it is a glitch. But yeah, right now we surpassed 30,000. And thank you again, T. Ryan, for all your support.
Love! I want everyone to say this because I will come across to all of you over there. We'll come across to all of them. They want to come beat us, but we'll give you love, brothers and sisters. We are not one. We are one people, and we cannot let the power of darkness, which is actually power, privilege, and control, to destroy the light. Be the light, brothers and sisters, and know the truth, and know that we are here for the right reasons. We are here for love, love, love. Thank you.
Woo!
Who's next?
That was fantastic. Prodigal Champ, it appears something may go down at the Mayweather-McGregor fight, just sending it down the pike. Well, that's interesting. I mean, that's going to be interesting just because the way, at least I think certain people are taking sides in that fight. I hope nothing happens, but that's, I think that's next weekend, right? I believe. I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's next weekend. So you have a situation here where this is not Nazis. This is not white supremacists. Here's another guy that spoke now. This is from Joe Biggs' account. People are claiming Joe Biggs. Joy Reid called Joe Biggs what did she call him? I think a far right and extreme right white nationalist. And this is his account. And he tweeted, "We stood up for free speech in one great day in America, #Boston," and added this.
Come here because I wanted to have. I wanted to come here. As you can see, I'm not white, and media portrayed it as if I should be careful. I know, right? So, but I'm here because I wanted to get a first-hand perspective. I wanted to have genuine conversations. I wanted to have genuine conversations with people here, so that I can find an understanding, so that we can find where are we all coming from. What is it that you believe, what I believe, and I'm just gonna go right straight to what I want to talk about. Despite the turmoil, despite the pain and the suffering, despite the anger and frustrations we deal with in our lives, despite the separation and the judgments and everything else that seems to hinder us as a whole, I still believe that this world will one day awaken and finally live a life less driven by ego but compassion. I still believe that one day the entire world will affirm that our greed is dismantling who we are meant to become as a whole. I still believe we need a world that sees the true wealth in life, that sees the richness in giving, the honor in promoting goodness, and the selflessness in raising environmental sensibility.
So apparently Joe Biggs, the white nationalist, decided to, I mean, would a white nationalist feature black people on his channel? Would he be on board with this? I don't believe that. I think it's complete bullshit. It is another example of Joy Reid slandering someone and libeling someone in the media. I am in support of, if you lie about someone like that in the media, I am in support of if you could sue them. Prodigal Champ, I will mail you info how to set up your channel for manager mode so you can have contributors, friends post to your channel. All right, cool. Yeah, definitely do that. Thank you. All right, so yeah, that's basically for now what we're going to go over in regards to the free speech rally. So it was I would say it was successful. It looks horrible for the media, for Antifa. Anyone who called these people Nazis should be ashamed of themselves, and we need to hold the mayor and anyone that speaks out against this group of people. We need to accurately assess who they are calling white supremacists, who they're calling to go home. You, the mayor, called this dude a white supremacist. You called this guy, you told him to go home. You told people that believe Black Lives Matter, you told them to go home. Rachel, ask Joe's non-white wife what she thinks about him being a white supremacist. I didn't even know that about him. I did not know that. Thank you, Rachel, for pointing that out. That's incredible. Yeah, I didn't even know that. We are past the point of peak retardation, and but at least we have a very good optic that we got out of here. Now,